In the world of bodybuilding, the stage and the podium usually show only the perfect bodies. Athletes with almost unreal proportions, tiny waists, massive muscles, and impressive symmetry. For many, that is the highest standard of physical development. But there is another side that is rarely shown, a side where effort, discipline, and years of intense training do not result in aesthetics, but the opposite. Disproportionate, deformed bodies, far from the sport's classical ideal. Are you enjoying this story? Bodybuilding? Then support the channel with your subscription. Attention! 94.8% of the people who watch these videos are still not subscribed. If you're part of that group, take the opportunity and subscribe now. It's free, and that way you'll keep receiving amazing stories about the greatest legends of professional bodybuilding. And there's more. At the end of the video, you'll find other epic stories just like this one. Don't miss it. The truth is that only a small percentage of the population is genetically gifted enough to achieve a physique worthy of a Mr. Olympia. Most athletes, no matter how dedicated they are not born with the perfect body structure. And when these individuals try to force their bodies past natural limits in the quest for more size, more volume, and more mass, the result can be shocking. What appears in those cases is not the perfect body the athlete dreamed of building, but a silhouette that completely loses harmony. Extremely bloated midsections, wide waists, asymmetrical muscles, visible deformities, and proportions that simply don't please the eye. Even with endless hours of training and strict dieting, the final look is compromised by something the athlete could never control: genetics. This distortion happens when the obsession for extreme muscle mass replaces the pursuit of balance and proportion. The original aesthetic philosophy of bodybuilding, which rewarded the harmonious physique, becomes overshadowed by a reckless race to see who can get bigger, heavier, and more massive, no matter the cost. In the pursuit of an ideal that is unattainable for some, practices emerge that make things even worse. Extreme caloric surplus, excessive supplementation, aggressive pharmacological interventions, and, in many cases, substances injected directly into the muscle to artificially increase size. The result is an inflated, forced appearance that is often uncomfortable even for spectators to look at. The bloated abdomen, commonly known as the bubble gut, becomes the ultimate symbol of this distortion. It doesn't matter how defined the quads are, how huge the chest is, or how large the arms measure. Once the center of the body loses control, the entire silhouette collapses in the eyes of the audience. The most frightening part is that behind these appearances, there is usually extreme dedication. We are not talking about laziness, lack of preparation, or lack of focus. Quite the opposite. Many of these athletes trained for years, sacrificed social life, invested fortunes in food, supplements, and chemistry, and still failed aesthetically simply because they were fighting something they could not change: their natural body structure. This is the least glamorous side of bodybuilding. The side where the athlete succeeds at gaining mass, succeeds at reaching an impressive weight, succeeds at getting huge, but loses the visual appeal that actually defines the best in the sport. The general public often believes that anyone can achieve a perfect physique if they train hard enough. For those who live in this world, the reality is painful. It is not true. And this is where the lesson of this video lies. Bodybuilding involves much more than willpower. It does require discipline, focus, and consistency. But it also depends on factors that are beyond the athlete's control. While some are born with narrow waists, short torsos, and wide clavicles, the perfect combination for the stage, others are born with wider hips, longer torsos, shorter limbs, and less favorable muscle insertions. No training on earth can change that. When an athlete without genetic predisposition tries to reach the physique of a world champion, he is not just competing against other athletes, he is competing against biology itself. And when biology loses that war, the result is the shocking, exaggerated, aesthetically unpleasant physiques that have become more frequent in recent years. This phenomenon is a silent reality in the sport. Magazines, events, and motivational content show only the best. But behind the curtains, there is a huge number of highly dedicated athletes who did everything right, according to the manual, and still ended up with a physique far from the aesthetic ideal. Many believed that adding size would fix the problem, and in trying to improve, they made everything worse. This video is not a criticism of those athletes' dedication. On the contrary, it is a warning about the limits of the human body and the importance of genetics in bodybuilding. The message is simple but profound. Increasing size does not always lead to a better physique. Sometimes chasing the maximum is the fastest route to losing aesthetics. Are you enjoying this story, bodybuilding? Then support the channel with your subscription. Attention, 94.8% of the people who watch these videos are still not subscribed. If you're part of that group, take the opportunity and subscribe now. It's free, and that way you'll keep receiving amazing stories about the greatest legends of professional bodybuilding. And there's more. At the end of the video, you'll find other epic stories just like this one. Don't miss it. Therefore, before joining the race for extreme size, it is important to remember what truly creates a beautiful physique: proportion, symmetry, control, balance, and a look that is pleasing to the eye. True bodybuilding was born from that idea. And when that idea is abandoned, the result can be anything except beautiful.